Hello, all you lovely people, and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about lossless scaling, specifically lossless scaling frame generation 3.0. For owners of handheld gaming PCs like the Lenovo Legion Go, the quest for smoother gameplay at higher frame rates is often a delicate balancing act. We crave the visual fidelity of modern titles, but are limited by the processing power and thermal constraints of a portable form factor like Legion Go or LIX or maybe the Steam Deck. This is where lossless scaling frame generation LSFG 3.0 steps in, not just as a welcome addition, but as an absolute must have that fundamentally transforms the handheld gaming experience. So, in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing what this software can do or this application can do for you. I'm going to play one of the latest games that is available on Steam and show you how this impacts the gameplay positively. There are a few negatives or a few drawbacks of using something like lossless scaling as well. I'm going to discuss that also towards the end of the video. So kindly stick around till the end of the video. With that said, let's get started, folks. So before I even start this video, I want to talk about what exactly is lossless scaling. I know we're stuck on this screen, but I want to take my time to explain what this is. Now, this, unlike AMD's own AFMF2, which is a driver-based solution, this is not a driver-based solution, but this is an upscaling technology like AFMF2. It's a dedicated frame generation solution that intelligently inserts interpolated frames between natively rendered ones. And this clever trick effectively doubles or even triples, in some scenarios, your perceived frame rate, leading to a dramatically smoother and more responsive gaming experience. While previous iterations of frame generation technologies sometimes suffered from visual artifacts or noticeable latency, LSFG 3.0, specifically 3.0, has made significant strides, making it particularly compelling for handhelds, and that's why I'm making this video today. When you launch this app, by the way, this is a paid app, it's not a free app, so I think you've got to pay something like $7 for this, which is inexpensive. But for handheld gaming PCs, this is a must-have software. So this is what the interface of LSFG 3.0 looks like. This is the new interface, by the way. Now, to get this new interface, what you will need to do is when you go over to the properties, you need to make sure that you have betas enabled. So only if you have like betas enabled will you get the latest, softwares. I recommend that you just keep it on beta so that you can get the latest interface of LSFG. When you log in into the latest interface, you have LSFG, and obviously you have previous iterations of this as well. But since you have 3.0, why would somebody use 2.3 or 1.1? I will recommend that you use LSFG 3.0. By the way, this software works really well because it does two things. One is it upscales, two is it frame generates. So the reason why you have an option off here is because let's say you're using something like AMD's own super resolution, like Radeon super resolution or image sharpening, then what you can do is you can turn the upscaling off from here. Yeah, you can turn it off from here and instead use Radeon super resolution or image sharpening. But if you don't want to use that, you can turn the upscaling on from here. And similarly, you have AMD's own AFMF 2.1. So let's say, for instance, you want to use the upscaling here, but you want to use the frame generation of AMD's Adrenaline AFMF 2.1. Then you can do that. You can mix and match. So you have an option of turning it on or off anytime you want. Now there are two modes. This latest version came with the adaptive frame generation mode as well. And with this, you can get like insane amount of frames inserted into the game. Now, it's not necessarily a good thing, and I've explained about this in my previous videos where I have shown demos of how this works with games like Resident Evil, and I've even compared it on a title like Assassin's Creed Shadows with AFMF2. If you haven't already checked those videos out, I recommend that you do that and come back to this video. I generally like keeping this on fixed mode because I have the flexibility of whether I put in a 2 times multiplier or 3 times multiplier, or maybe just a 4 times multiplier even, which is crazy. Most of the times I found myself going with 2 times the multiplier, which means your frame rates will double. Whatever your base frame rate is that the game is giving you. Let's say, as an example, the game was giving you by default a frame rate of 40 FPS. So when you put in a multiplier 2, that means 40 times 2, which is 80 FPS. So you can expect 80 FPS. Now, when you take this multiplier to 3, you would need to multiply that 14 to 3. That means you can effectively get even 120 FPS. Now, this is the flow scale. Now, what exactly is the flow scale? It even gives you a little bit of a write-up as to what flow scale is. So basically, for optimal smoothness, what I would recommend doing is just look at the last paragraph here. For optimal smoothness, it is recommended to target a scaled input resolution of 1080p. So that's the display resolution or the in-game resolution. For example, set the scale to 75% for a 1440p game resolution or 50% for 4K. Now, for a small screen like this, even 1080p is brilliant. But what this allows you to do is if you keep it at 75%, which I most of the times keep it at, you get to see a display resolution upscaled to almost as good as 1440p, which for a small screen like the Legion Go's 8.8-inch QHD Plus display, games look brilliant. Let me show you a quick example of that by logging into a game which is a brand new title like the AC Shadows. So we are in the game. This is AC Shadows, by the way. And for lossless scaling to work effectively, even if you turn the resolution to say about, let's start with 1920 into 1080p. We can scale it down if need be. This is a demanding title, but what I would recommend you do is change the display mode to window. So what I'm doing is the in-game resolution is set at, or it defaults to 720p because obviously I'm already utilizing a lot of VRAM. Now that's probably because it's taking in my settings from my PC. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to change this over to low, and I am just going to go over to, I can't turn this off, so I'll have to keep this at low. And what I want to do is move over to the textures or terrain rather to medium. The character quality I'm going to turn over to medium, and all the other settings I'm keeping at low. So it's the low quality preset. The only thing that I've changed is the terrain quality to medium, and the character textures I have made sure that I've kept that on medium as well. Now the reason why I have chosen to do that is because this is a demanding title, and the Legion Go by default will not be able to take in ultra high settings at 1080p. It just won't be able to run this. It will probably be running at a snail pace, and therefore the in-game settings, I've shown you what I'm running along with. Even here, it's technically struggling. There's no point monitoring the tracker here through AMD's Adrenaline tracker, so I'm going to turn it off. As you can see, the display resolution is at 800p. As far as thermal performance goes, I've kept it at performance mode in terms of TDP. So we're going to log into a game, and by default, I don't know what frame rates will it run at. Technically, it's supposed to show me when I'm running a game on Steam, but even if it doesn't, what I'm going to do is lossless scaling, by the way, is already on in the background. So if I go over to my screen here, you would notice that lossless scaling is here, by the way, and I have an option of scaling this up. But let's see how this game performs without lossless scaling first. So this is what the game looks like. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it can be better. How can it be better? I'm going to upscale now. And now I have upscaled this using lossless scaling. Now please notice out here that the base FPS that it's showing me is around 40 FPS. I have not put in a limiter. So when you put in a limiter, like an FPS limiter, it works even more consistently. But if you don't want to put a limiter, try it out without a limiter first. Here in this case, thanks to lossless scaling, I'm now getting around 129 FPS. Well, the game does have occasional stutters because any demanding title like AC Shadows, for instance, will have those occasional stutters. But overall, it performs solidly, as you can see. I'm still getting over 100 FPS here, if you notice. This is absolutely brilliant performance, guys. Just take a look at it, 114 FPS. But still, it looks pretty decent thanks to lossless scaling. And the game does run at a solid 80 to 100 FPS. I'm just gonna sprint and move away from here. I don't want to engage myself in battle. But what this gives you an idea of is how this game is performing. Now, this is the core strength and the primary benefit for handhelds like the Legion Go. Many demanding AAA titles like AC Shadows may run only in the 30 to 45 FPS range by default, and that too on even low settings. And while it is playable, it's not like it's unplayable, but it doesn't feel like an ideal gameplay experience, especially for fast action-paced games. And that is where LSFG 3.0 can take that 30 or 40 base FPS and it can effectively turn it into a much smoother 60 plus FPS experience depending on what kind of multiplier you have. So if I want to show you the multiplier that I'm using, I'm going to scale down and I'm going to go over to my lossless scaling software again. So let me just minimize this and let me bring up lossless scaling. Okay. Here you go. So I'm using a multiplier of 3 times right now, and I'm using the fixed mode, as you can see. But it depends on you what kind of multiplier you want to put. I'm going to scale up again. So 3 times the multiplier, and you can see that you can effectively turn even 40 FPS, base FPS, over to close to 120 FPS. And what this does is it makes previously borderline games incredibly enjoyable. This is a very smooth and responsive experience here on the Legion Go. And the difference between a fluctuating 40 FPS and a stable 60 plus FPS, in this case close to 120 FPS, is night and day, guys. And what LSFG 3.0 does is that it drastically reduces that stuttering. There are occasional stutters, I don't deny that. But if you would have played this without LSFG, the stuttering would have been far worse. And what this ultimately leads to is a more fluid visual experience. And it leads to improved reaction times, and your overall gameplay satisfaction vastly improves. And this is crucial on Lenovo Legion Go because it allows you to truly appreciate that visuals without the distraction of choppiness, of stuttering on your screen. And it even makes demanding titles like AC Shadows more viable. I mean, there are certain graphically intensive games that might simply be too taxing to run at acceptable frame rates on the Legion Go without significant compromises in your visual settings. And this is where LSFG 3.0 can act as a powerful equalizer, allowing you to maintain that higher visual fidelity while still achieving smooth, playable frame rates. And this opens up a wider library of games that can be enjoyed on your handheld. Now, please note, when you play older titles like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Assassin's Creed Origins, when these games came out, they did not even have frame generation. So you don't have frame generation as an option in their in-game menus. And lossless scaling frame generation 3.0 comes in real handy on demanding titles like Odyssey or Origins, which don't have baked or inbuilt frame generation. Like, fortunately, AC Shadows has that, but AC Origins and AC Odyssey did not have that. Valhalla did have FSR, but I think that was FSR 1 if I'm not wrong. But it's not all smooth sailing. because there are some potential drawbacks as well whenever you use any kind of frame generation for that and upscaling. It introduces input lag, and it depends on game to game, by the way. LSFG 3.0 has really worked hard, and it has minimized the kind of lag that you would get. So LSFG 2.3 or the previous version 1 was far worse in terms of input lag, but they have really worked on improving the input lag. The other thing that they have really improved on, and I've spoken about this in my previous comparison videos as well with AFMF 2.1, is that visual artifacting and ghosting has vastly improved. Because if you look at these characters, generally there's a borderline ghosting and artifacting if you move the camera around too fast. Now they have improved that. And what was a big issue in previous LSFG versions was that if you would move the camera around really fast like this, there would be such bad artifacting and ghosting that sometimes you would even have like the character's head being blurred out, and it would look very choppy. So LSFG 3.0 seems to have fixed that issue. So there are minor visual artifacts, I do agree with that, but LSFG 3.0 is way better than LSFG 2.0, and it has a much cleaner output compared to earlier solutions. So look, I just wanted to make this video because I really like this software, and this application has made playing games like AC Shadows possible at over 80 plus FPS. And for Lenovo Legion Go owners, even Ally X or Steam owners, LSFG 3.0 is not just a nice to have feature or application, it's in fact game changing. And this truly unlocks the potential of your handheld gaming PC. Can effectively double or triple your performance depending on what game you're playing and what kind of a multiplier you put in there. But what it allows you to do is push your visual settings much higher and also enjoy a wider range of games and truly appreciate the power and versatility of your Lenovo Legion Go. Max, the handheld game experience. This software, this application is inexpensive. It's probably only $7, and investing in and utilizing LSFG 3.0 is an absolute must. I would say it's the secret weapon that elevates the Legion Go's performance from a capable handheld to a truly impressive portable gaming powerhouse. So that's my 2 cents on Lossless Scaling 3.0. I really wanted to make a dedicated video on this because this has elevated my personal gaming experience on the Legion Go. And if you haven't already used Lossless Scaling 3.0, then I will highly recommend that you try this out by downloading it and check this out for yourself as to what kind of a difference does this make in your personal gaming experience on your handheld PC. And if you like it, then please come back and share your experiences here in the comments section. If you've liked this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified about my latest videos. I do make videos like this. These are my videos on gameplay, and these are my videos on the latest frame generation technologies. But I have a lot of Let's Play videos on the Legion Go as well, where I test out the latest games on the Legion Go. I show you the performance of the game using AFMF 2.1 versus lossless scaling. There are a lot of videos on my channel. In case you want to see any of those comparisons, feel free to scroll through my video list. And apart from that, I have game reviews, I have gameplay videos, I have unboxing and reviews of products or items related to gaming. And all you got to do to become a part of my community is hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. And if you choose to become a member, well, there's an option of doing that as well for as low as only $1 a month. That $1 for me will go a long way because a small channel like me will, in fact, be able to fetch a cup of coffee every single month for as low as $1 here in India. And I truly appreciate and I thank you for your support in advance. As far as this video goes, it's a wrap for this one. I will see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.